Hello and welcome to Incomplete Geeks, the Geek podcast, where we talk about all sorts of geeky things. Sometimes our knowledge is great, sometimes it's a little bit
incomplete.
Thank you for joining us. To say we're a little bit excited is a bit of a stretch.
Lol. Good. It's like you thought that one through.
Because we're going to take a few minutes because we want to talk about fucking finally. They've announced the cast for the Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
John, tell me how you feel about that. What are your emotions right now?
I don't have to ask you. You're quite clear about it.
I don't have a lot of emotions, but I've got 2 or 3.
Okay. So. It's a nice surprise. I think it's great that they are going forward with this. I think it's very positive. They're doing the right thing. They know the one thing they know how to do well is to know how to get people excited about this kind of thing. So in case, I'm assuming you want to talk about each individual person, but as an overview, I know 2 of them. I had to look the other 2 up.
Yeah.
And I think it's fine. I mean, I think that Marvel will have learned from its mistakes and will repeat its own strengths. Well,
do they have a history of any bad casting? They've made bad films and bad shows, but casting-wise, do any of the MCU films kind of stand out why would you choose that person?
Do you mean bad as in bad acting, or do you mean bad as in a bad choice for that character? Because I'm sure we could think of a few examples, but I don't think any of them stick out necessarily.
No standouts. We can think of standouts of that was a bad show. But casting, no, I don't think that. So at this stage, all we have is who they've chosen to play these roles.
Yeah. How do you feel about it?
I feel it's so anticlimactic.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to talk about the way they've done it, the way they've released it. But also I want to talk about the Fantastic Four as a franchise as well.
Yeah. But the way they announce, I suppose you either do it really big at a con, which
or a video announcement or something like that,
which they haven't been attending because they have their own. So I don't know why they haven't done it. I don't know why it's taken so long. Or you're just oh my God, here it is. Let's get it done. Let's just get it done. It's been so many times where would have been the perfect time to announce it, and they just didn't months and months and months and months ago.
Yeah.
So
for whatever reason, they could have
trying to find the right one, and I understand it's difficult, but we're on a deadline now. They've announced the release date as well.
I was going to say, did we have a release date before? Because I don't remember.
No, a vague. Oh, maybe we did. We had a director. We had a vague timeline.
But the director is
Matt Shackman.
Yeah. Matt Shackman, who we like from his previous work on WandaVision.
Yeah.
And
legacy thing, Monsters.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I didn't see that. That as well. We both went to.
I didn't watch it, but some people think it looks good. So whatever, it's done. It's announced. It's official. It was kind of leaked. These were the 4 that were kind of going around for the past few months.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the casting,
like
you, I knew 3 of them. I didn't know this Stranger Things one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
3, I think, are pretty perfect.
Okay.
And the only one I don't have doubts. I have questions.
Yeah, it sounds like yet to be seen kind of questions.
Well, the only one I have questions about is Pedro, who I love. So I have total faith in him. I think it's just I don't see him as a Reed Richard. Mm-hmm. He would never have been on my list of fan casting all these years. It would never have been Pedro Pascal. Like boring, nerdy, frumpy Reed Richards.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Pedro first then, because basically
he's the linchpin.
He is. And I mean, why was he rumored for so long to be part of it? Was it because of leaks and insiders? Because I would have suggested that he's good fit for it either. But then again, I don't know the character that well. I just feel like he's kind of riding off of the success of a lot of his previous work, and everyone loves him in Last of Us. Everyone loves him in Game of Thrones.
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian was the other one, yeah. So it's like he's just kind of a name.
I don't think that's a bad thing. He's shown he can turn out and hold a franchise and really, hold the screen and hold a project together. So I think that it's a bankable actor. So, and you need it. It's just I don't know who this fucking character is going to be on the big screen, because let's be honest, the last two guys who have tried to do it sucked. Like, no offense to them.
What to try to do what? The film?
No, the character, Mr. Fantastic, to make it work on screen.
Because which two are you talking about? Are you talking about John Krasinski?
No,
technically, he was okay.
Ewan Griffith.
You mean Ewan Griffith and Miles Teller?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Neither of which were similar in their portrayal. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you. It's always been the question with the Fantastic Four for me. I think the other three characters are visually cool, powers that work brilliantly on the screen, characters which are, we've got the Thing's tormented thing because he's stuck like that, Hothead who's going to be that, who knows how they write Sue, but, an amazing power that looks really good on screen, invisibility, force fields, that all works great. And the dude who stretches, it doesn't work.
Oh, I know. We've talked about that on the podcast before, like how it just looks very, very cartoonish. I've mentioned before how it's perfect for an illustrated medium like a comic book or even like a cartoon.
Even animation,
it just looks cartoonish.
It looks cool and dynamic on animated, or when you do a good, if you've got a good artist and illustration.
Yeah, exactly.
A human changing and stretching, it looks weird.
It's bizarre in the two that Ewan Griffith did. I never actually saw any sort of effects with the Miles Teller doing it. But I remember also, it's so hard to do right. And I'm very glad that they kind of didn't do it too much when we see Mr. Fantastic in the Doctor Strange film, because it just has to. You never see it close up. The only time you see him really using it is when he's being unraveled by Wanda. And I don't know if there's any other part. I can't think of any other part, which is kind of the point, because you don't want to see it too close.
You don't want to see it. Well, the fact they changed Ms. Marvel's whole power set, because her power set is that, because it looks stupid, and they hadn't figured out how to make this very important character, Ms. Marvel obviously is a super representative character, to make her look weird and ugly and stupid, which was the point. But anyway, we'll move on.
It could have been a CGI thing as well.
I don't know how they're going to do it. So it's not that I doubt Pedro. It's just I can't picture what this character is going to be like on the big screen in a way that isn't shit.
Because as you know, I haven't seen Last of Us, but does he come across as like a really stoic, thinking character? So we can do that. Because obviously in Game of Thrones, he's very sort of loose and sexual and everything.
It's not really who, I don't know. I suppose sometimes Reed is that, but he's more like the
professional, intelligent.
He's like a Big Bang Theory kind of guy. He's incredibly smart. He forgets to talk to people. He disappears off. In the original run, he was super arrogant, but not arrogant. No, that's the wrong word to use. But quite. Oh, I'm going to disappear for 3 days into my thinking room. You're like, what? We'll just. I
have one of those. I call it something else, though.
Yeah, toilet. I don't know. Are they going to play it for laughs? I don't know if that would work. Although I think Pedro is very funny, so they could. But he's also super charming.
Yes, that's the thing I'm thinking of.
I don't know how they're going to do it. He would never have been my choice, but I love him so.
So you'll give him a shot.
Oh, I thought that's why I was a big Krasinski campaigner, because he's proven how he can be so goofy and stupid and pure comedy.
Yeah.
But also badass serious.
Yeah.
And that works for me. It's like, he would have been really good.
I think he can he pulls the serious off really well, and he looks the part, let's be honest.
But maybe Pedro can do that.
Yeah.
Too.
They obviously chose him because he went through test screenings or something. He
must have done screen tests.
And pulled it off. What do you think about Sue then? Because she's the only one that I know
That
before.
was that was kind of rumor leaked when she was doing the press tour for Mission Impossible. I don't know if
I forgot she was in that.
I know her from The Crown.
Yeah, if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about Vanessa Kirby,
the girl. There's only
the
one
female,
girl
yeah.
in it. Vanessa Kirby cast as Sue Storm.
Mm-hmm. She was
great.
She was really great in Napoleon as well. I was because I didn't realize she was in it when I was going in to see it, and she plays Josephine so well.
What's her character like? What's Josephine like? Is she?
She's got like a I wouldn't say like a muddled past, but she's got sort of she comes across she's like low born but very intelligent, world wise in a way. But she's got a kind of tragic aspect to her because she's not able to bear Napoleon any children, so they love each other, but it falls apart, and you can see that there's that caring for each other. But she does have a good way of being able to play him, being able to manipulate him, which she does really well.
Cool. In The Crown, she is both regal and put together, but she's the young, fun one as well. So she has.
Is that Sue?
Huh?
Is that what Sue is like?
I don't know. Well, to be fair, the character is whichever kind of time period you take it from. You know, the original comics or the old cartoons. She's the girlfriend. She's the Jean Grey. She's the fall over kind of crap.
Is she the one with like the four in her boobs or whatever?
It's the boob window.
The boob window, yeah.
It was so ridiculous. But you know, there was a period when I started reading Fantastic Four where Reed was gone, so she was the leader. That's what she was like, the army fatigues, and that's what I knew and I loved because I love a strong female woman.
They probably do that.
Strong female woman, strong female character,
a strong female woman as opposed to the other ones.
Female woman. They could do anything with it. I think there's plenty of her to be reserved and quiet, or if she wants to be badass. And I think she seems like the type who could do both.
Yeah, okay.
She looks great. She looks stunning. She looks very Sue.
What do you mean? Have you seen photos of her or something, or what do you mean she looks like?
She's
Sue?
a blonde, pretty woman, so she looks like she can play Sue Storm.
But she looks the part, basically.
Yeah, she looks great. I think that will look really good.
Okay, cool. I mean, I'm up for it. I don't know a lot about her character, but
you can do whatever you want with it. It's kind
there's a lot of space to do.
Yeah, because like with Carol Danvers, it depends on which Carol you read. Yeah. Like, you know, everyone's like, oh, that's what she's like now. It's like, yeah, but you read her in the 70s or 80s. She's this big flirt and that sort of stuff, and then she was an alcoholic.
Big flirt with like super short shorts,
like in a tank. You know, all this kind of stuff. It's a good character. You've got her things to draw from, and they'll make her, if they write her properly, give her good kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's the key. It sounds like it's easily adaptable, and it's up to them to sort of make to do it right.
She's a good vehicle. I hope they put her front and center because she's got the coolest power. Let's be honest, it's way more fun than the others.
I agree.
I didn't watch Stranger Things, so I don't know who this guy is. My brother was like, "Oh my god, he's going to be great." I'm like, "Okay."
As Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
I've forgotten the name already. I literally watched it. But yeah, I didn't see that season of Stranger Things. Joseph Quinn, yeah. He's been in something else as well. I don't remember, but he's a younger brother to Sue, right?
Yeah.
So he's gonna be, you know, the hothead, the loose cannon of the group, I suppose.
Oh, he's English. Oh,
which kind of suits the character, from what I know. I mean, I only know things about Johnny Storm because of the other Fantastic Four films. Is he the one is he like the sort of the roguish one who gets in trouble,
the hothead
kind of thing? Yeah, because he can fly and
he's flame on. So he's the hothead and enjoys his celebrity and all that kind of stuff, and fights with Ben. So they're gonna have to have good banter and all that kind of stuff. He looks good. He looks like a good partner to be Sue's brother.
Okay,
he's good looking, but he ain't no Chris Evans.
No,
or Michael B. Jordan. You know,
no, of course,
neither one of those.
So I will. I mean, that's all I can go on is that he looks the part. So I'll give him a shot.
He was in Game of Thrones.
I think I remember reading he was like a very small part.
Yeah. Okay. He's English, though. I like that. I like
everybody was in Game of Thrones, except for me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He was in. And then Eben Moss Backlund.
He's...
Did you watch The Bear?
No. Have you?
I've seen a couple. It's really good, but it's too stressful. I never put it on. I never choose to want to watch people losing their minds and screaming at each other in a stressful environment.
Have you ever worked in a restaurant?
I've never done any of that. So.
I was like, I don't watch TV shows about people in school because school was stressful for me, and I don't like remembering all that. Maybe I thought that was why you didn't want to watch it.
No. But I can see why. I think he looks good. He looks like the character he plays on The Bear is kind of the gruff cousin from The Block kind of vibes, which is the whole point of Ben's character.
Yeah,
I think he's a really good choice. He's been a fan cast for quite a while, or he's been rumored quite a while.
That's good. People will be happy about that.
I think he's good, and he's known enough, but not a star, so that they could keep him for a little bit longer.
That's exactly what Marvel needs. He has credentials, which they all do, but he's not sort of broken out in that same way. I feel like Ben also is the character where you can have a bit more flexibility, ironically, with what he looks like, because obviously he's going to spend the majority of the film as a CGI character or in heavy prosthetics. So
it'll be CGI. They're not doing Michael Chiklis again. It's got to be CGI, but he'll be motion captured. Probably better than She-Hulk. So
it'll be like Thanos CGI, where it's like it's partly based on, or She-Hulk. Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's pretend. Let's hope it's Thanos, not She-Hulk.
Let's hope they spend some time on it. It's a film, not a TV show. So
yes, they have more money for that.
Different budget.
I think he's got the good energy, good vibes for that. He seems gruff, but kind of like a soft heart in the middle kind of character. He plays on The Bear. Maybe that's kind of what Ben.
Does Ben have an element of insecurity as well?
It's more of it, because he's a rock dude. He's stuck forever as a rock dude. So he's got that tragic side of it, doesn't he? Which he gets to play up.
Yeah.
Do
you think he can do that?
I think so. I've only seen a couple episodes, but he does seem like he has.
So overall, we give all four of them a thumbs up.
Yeah, no red flags. My only kind of how does it work is Pedro as Reed. How are they going to play this character? Because it doesn't have to be like the other Reeds, just because
of course. Yeah, it's a new universe. I mean, they might want to have it be distinctly different.
We don't want him to be like the other Reeds because they sucked. Those films sucked. So
what's the timeline? Is it when is the release date? Is it July 2025?
July 2025.
So more than a year. So I still have time to sneak in as an extra or something.
I was like, is that still enough time? Have they only just cast it, or have they been starting working already? Because I feel like just a year and a half isn't enough time to...
It depends on how much CGI they want.
Exactly. You got to get to the locations, do that, and then do all the... Oh my God. It doesn't seem like it's enough time. But then maybe it's
they must have a script already then, at least. They must have a script already, at least.
They must do.
But I mean, I guess... With big projects like this, they are definitely going to go through rewrites and rearrangements. Hopefully not.
Don't do too many rewrites, guys. Don't do it.
Pick something and stick with it.
Pick a good story. On that topic, it does look like it's very stylistically 1960s.
Based on what?
The Instagram post.
But the Instagram post was just a drawing, wasn't it?
The font and everything of it is very space 1960s. One division.
Okay. Do you think that they're gonna set it in that period then?
It's been, again, it's a rumor thinking of how they could introduce them was this happens in the 60s, disappear or time travel, and then they come back and they've missed everything with Thanos and mutants and stuff like that.
Right.
Which was a very old fan theory, but I think kind of works.
Yeah.
And makes it look and feel a bit different if you set them in a swinging 60s kind of vibe. It makes it less
Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, it's less out of place, like you said, but and it's just another thing we've talked about before on the podcast is how it's just such a weird power set. Like, how do you? It makes sense in the 60s, but if they're then sort of displaced to modern times, then that might make sense. As long as I think it might work, assuming it's in the same universe, because they could always do a different universe now because they have opened that door. But as long as they don't introduce it, if they have it set in the past, they don't introduce any brand new glaring questions like, well, why did no one mention them, or why did no one say this, or what happened when they did this happen, kind of thing. Which is what they ran into with the Eternals.
Some assholes will, but they'll be thinking about that. Who knows?
Hope so. Learn from your mistakes.
Who knows? Yeah, I'd quite like to see a 60s version because
it's how
heroes, that's quite a, what is it? Was it Watchmen who did like old-fashioned heroes?
Watchmen did, I think it was like set in the 80s kind of.
At least they had the old team that was set in like the 50s. And then
anyway. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was that as well. It might
be fun to see how superheroes were in the 60s. I don't know if they do that, but...
Yeah, that's also why I quite liked that one. I mean, it wasn't the best episode, but the one episode of What If, where it was like 1980s kind of team up with when they were going after young Peter Quill. And it was like Hank Pym and Annette Bening as Marvel.
Weird cast. But yes, exactly. Yeah.
But I was like, cool to see like a different kind of...
Keeps it in universe, but different. Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think that would be cute.
That would make sense. If they did that way, because obviously with the font and everything. My last question for you then is: any rumors about Doctor Doom?
I was going to talk about it. Like, who knows what
we're still in who knows
they're going to announce next? Because that would be a year before they do, if they continue doing the big Avengers films. They would be 26. So that's still a year ahead. So if they wanted to, they could introduce Doctor Doom to be the bad guy to take over Kang. Kang is the Fantastic Four villain.
And also has ties to the X-Men as well.
Kang?
Isn't Kang like a descendant of Scott and Jean?
No, he's a descendant of Reed.
Oh yeah, who am I thinking of?
Lots of them are descendant of Scott and Jean, but loads of people.
Erase that. Delete that part.
They're in the Days of Future Past. Reed and Sue's son, Franklin, hooks up with Scott and Jean's daughter, Rachel.
Okay.
And then in another one, they create a baby called Hyperstorm, and he not scissoring, no, but he's like incredibly powerful, and that's a 90s storyline where he comes back in time and all that kind of shit.
Okay.
They do all sorts of bonkers shit. I hope they do. The more bonkers, the better. That's why I don't think Doctor Doom would be as fun, because we've seen that fucking story twice. Please God, don't just do it again.
Yeah. Well, how are they going to introduce the characters then if they don't have Doctor Doom as well? Because wasn't he technically on the ship?
Nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing to do with it. It's crap-o-la.
So then they're open to sort of, what if Doctor Doom isn't the villain of this film?
That would be so refreshing. I think they really need to do that, because we're just going to be looking for the ways that they do this film wrong. Yeah. And the things they did wrong were a lot, but Doctor Doom was the main thing they did wrong in both versions. Yeah. So I think just cut him out. I'm hoping Annihilus. I think he's the best choice because he's spacey, alternate dimension, negative zone-y, because that could be where they go.
Okay.
And then they come back and it's oh my God, it's 40 years. Well, that's not 40 years later. Oh my God, no.
60 now.
Anyway, oh my God.
Although if they do go into space, they can always sort of just travel far that way on 50% speed of light, and then they come back and it's time dilation.
Sure. Whatever. Yeah. So my vote is for Annihilus. I think that would be the best one, but because it's bonkers, and I think that would suit it. But we'll see.
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Cool.
We'll see. And that's it.
I'm excited about that. Because if you, dear listener, have any insights or any ideas, do let us know. Write in to us. via email. Our email is incompletegeekspodcast@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us on the socials. We're on TikTok and Instagram. Our handles there are @incompletegeeks. If you do get anything wrong, we're very sorry. We're not complete geeks.
But we're working on it.
Well, thanks for tuning in. See you next time.